they're one of the toughest teams in the country to play against.
Yeah, they continue to come at you in waves. Now, Robbie Robinson leads this team in scoring, first in the nation in points scored. He's out injured, but Camarnie Smith, top 10 in goal scoring as well. This kid's outstanding.
It's this year coming into it with an idea of I need to have a better finished product, and he's done that. He's pacey, he makes great runs, and he really holds defenders accountable.
And the junior from England's been outstanding. And now Notre Dame on the other side, this is a team Chad Riley's crew really built defensively. They have won 3 straight games, all ACC matchups, including going on the road and beating Wake Forest. With this Notre Dame team, how do they slow down that offense?
It's all about keeping Clemson in front of you. Don't let Clemson use their speedsters to get in behind you and stretch the back line. So stay compact, stay organized, and then look to counter. This is a team where you have Jack Lynn, who can score from distance, as you see here, and he's just a good finisher. Get him active and around the box, involved, and you stand a good chance to put some balls in the back of the net.
9 goals in the campaign for him, including 5 game winners. That's the most in the nation. Chad Riley leading this team, his alma mater, for the second year. He was a 3-time All-Big East player when he played here back in the early 2000s. Now back running things for the Irish. Let's take a look at his lineup that he will roll forward. It's a 3-4-3. It's become common. But as Mike Noonan, the coach for Clemson, told us when they saw this team in September, the Irish fell 4-2. This is a very different team than them. What jumps out of this lineup?
Felicien Dumas. This is one of the most gifted players in the country at set pieces, delivery. They're going to look for him to just be involved, getting up and down that left flank, but to play early service. Ian Asheris had 2 goals here last year. He's going to be looking again in the box, and he's hungry to continue the success.
Earlier this year, he scored a goal in this matchup as well on a set piece. Mike Noonan, his 10th year at the helm here for the Tigers. He's now over 300 wins in his career overall, over 100 here at Clemson. Take a look at the team he rolls out here. An outstanding offensive group we've talked about, but Philip Mayaka in the midfield, the freshman, is a guy that I know you've had your eye on since the beginning of the season.
Everyone's talking about the next N'Golo Kante. He covers so much ground. He's influential. Not only is he a great tackler, but he's also he has great vision, and he can play through the lines to spark the attack. So this is a player that you have to watch out for.
Kante, the great Frenchman, a midfielder for Chelsea. Mayaka, that's a great comparison. You take a look at what happened here back on September 13th. Clemson won this game, but it was in Notre Dame 4-2. That was kind of their coming out party, Chuck. They had a really weak non-conference schedule. They went on the road and beat a top 20 Irish team in convincing.
And they shocked everyone because they had them finishing 5th preseason in this Atlantic Coastal Conference, and now they're the best team in the country. So what a way to introduce yourself to not only the ACC but the country.
Yep. 5th in the Atlantic Division, so it's even further down.
Okay.
So, can't believe Wake Forest ceded this lead. So, Ayo, do we even do an open for the app then, too, if we're not getting it? Or what's going on with that? Are we going to... Welcome to Clemson, South Carolina, for the 4th of 4 ACC Men's Soccer Championship quarterfinals of the day. The number 2 team in the nation, Clemson Tigers, hosting the Notre Dame Fighting Irish with the right to move on and play Pittsburgh in the semifinals. Pitt got it done. Tigers, he's now over 100 wins here at Clemson, over 300 in his head coaching career. He rolls out what has become a familiar 4-3-3. As we mentioned, no Robinson through the middle. James Brighton gets the start instead. But Philip Mayaka in the midfield, number 20, you think is outstanding.
Everyone's talking about the next N'Golo Kante. This freshman covers so much ground, influential in the tackle, but not only that can he win the ball back, but he can also play that killer ball. He can split the lines, and this is one of the players that you have to watch.
As we mentioned, these two teams met back on September 13th. It was a 4-2 Clemson win. Kind of their coming out party, Chuck, because they had a very weak non-conference schedule. They're racking up a ton of goals. They went on the road, beat a top 20 team in Notre Dame, and beat them handily.
This is a team that everyone's worried about because of their attacking threat. They can really hurt you. They can stretch the field. And then when Robbie Robinson is on the field, you're talking about one of the front runners for the Herman Trophy as the best college player in the country. MLS clubs are calling Clemson. Everyone's watching this kid. And then you have Camarnie Smith. It's really difficult to stop when you have players who can hurt you in a variety of different ways, whether it's combining, counterattack. It's a premier team in this country.
You see Robbie Robinson there, folks, as we mentioned, if you're just tuning in, he will not be playing in this match, held out with an injury. Now, Charlie, with the flip side, if you're Notre Dame, you've been preparing thinking you're going to see this triumvirate of Robinson, Camardi Smith, and Grayson Barber. The key guy is not there. What is Chad Riley's club's reaction to seeing that?
You're happy inside. I'll tell you right now, the defenders are thrilled because the first game they played earlier this year, Robbie Robinson scored a fantastic goal, and it was about dribbling 3 or 4 Notre Dame players before he was able to find the back of the net. But when you don't have to deal with that, that's another weapon off the field that you don't have to worry about. So this Notre Dame team probably got a little bit of a lift as soon as they heard Robbie Robinson wasn't going to be on the field tonight.
Well, we're about to kick off the final quarterfinal of this great day of ACC soccer on the ACC network. The nightcap is underway. Our official Matthew Kreitzer blows the whistle, and we get things going from historic Riggs Field.
I know 2 alums are tuned in right now, Stu Holden and Aguchi Anyewu, 2 Clemson alums. They were giving me some stick tonight saying, you know, you wish you went to a school as good as ours.
Charlie Davies, a BC alum. Aguchi Anyewu was on the call for that Pitt Virginia Tech game with Steve Schlanger, where Pitt won in overtime 2-1. Clemson working down the left side early on. Mentioned that triumvirate of scores, Robinson, Smith, and Grayson Barber. Those 3 guys are all in the top 40 in the nation in scoring. The only team in the country that could say that. Smith and Robinson both top 10 in terms of goals per game. Still at Mayaka on the ball, looking for the pass, finds Tanner Dietrich, who tries to backheel a quick shot by James Brighton, and it's just wide. Now it was deflected, and Kreitzer points to the first corner of the match. Notre Dame exhaling just a minute into this game.
Get me a replay of that. Mayaka plays a great penetrating ball in the feet of Tanner Dietrich, who lays it off, and James Brighton gets the shot that just deflects. He's trying to find that far corner.
Smith plays it short. Back to Smith to change the angle. He floats it in. Opportunity. There's a ball on the doorstep. It's in the back of the net already. Flag is up, though, and a quick restart. The crowd is not even realizing it right now, but that is not a goal. Offside call by the official. The arm went up. The flag was up. Notre Dame quickly putting that ball right back into play and maintaining the 0-0 scoreline. Back to Oscar Ogren.
We saw already early on in this game what Philip Mayaka can do. So he wins that second ball that pops out, and then the initial ball into the feet of Tanner Dietrich in the box. Fantastic, against the grain, right to his feet, so he could lay it off for James Brighton. He's just got it all. It's one of those freshman kids that is truly gifted. It's shocked Mike Noonan to an extent where he thought he was going to be good and play, but to this extent, to have this much of a presence as a freshman is astonishing.
Back on the ball, Smith with a heavy touch and cleared out quickly by Muhammad Abdul-Nadi. On Mayaka, there's a lot of good freshmen in this conference. We just saw Daniel Pereira just had a beautiful goal from Virginia Tech to knock things up at Wake Forest and send that game into overtime. Is Mayaka the best freshman in the conference, though?
He's got to be. And it's because of how well this team is playing offensively, in large part due to him, because he's able to win the ball back for this Clemson team and then be able to play those balls in between the lines to expose the other teams and get Robbie Robinson and Camardi Smith into the final third.
Smith taken out there by Patrick Coleman, sophomore in the starting lineup, creative player, starting the lineup alongside Michael Pellegrino. Their midfielder, senior captain Jack Casey, is starting on the bench for the Irish. Casey's had injury issues all year. Remember, the Irish had to play midweek to get to this point. They came back and beat Boston College at home after going down 1-0, 1-2-1. So Casey starts on the pine, and we'll see another opportunity here as Felipe Fernandez, Ecuadorian native, stands over the ball, ready to take the free kick.
Now against Syracuse, Felipe Hernandez played this back post, and it was cut across for Robbie Robinson to head home on the far post.
Plays it backwards to change the angle on it. Now Mayaka's going to float it in, looking far post the other way, and it'll go out for the second corner of the match for the Tigers.
Variations of design plays. That one was supposed to come back across the field. They had numbers there, but Notre Dame did a good job of defending it.
No ball played in. So appeals for handball, not given. Second attempt, floated back into the mixer. Ogren battling with Senate Farley. Farley will send it out and touch. Quick restart by Clemson. Ball played right back in. Opportunity! Deflected out for another corner.
You can't sleep on this Clemson team. You cannot let up, because when the ball gets out of play, they put it right back in. They are not afraid to start quickly. So you have to be tuned in.
Played short. Driven in, laid off. Right opportunity. Grayson Barber's pass, though, really didn't connect with Smith. Tanner Dietrich, the captain, 3-year captain of the squad. Plays it forward. Knock on. Out of space. Floated ball in. And Duncan Turnbull, the 6'7" keeper, senior for the Irish, comes out, claims it.
Notre Dame weathering the storm early on. When you sit back, allow Clemson to play. And then when you do win the ball back, be smart about how you go forward. Release Jack Lynn into space. Get Ian Asheris making runs into the channels.
I know you've played a number of games like this, whether it's Spain or Brazil, other national teams you were playing where the U.S. would defend and then counter. How hard is that, though, to lock in for that long and be on the defensive and be so consistent?
It's easier than you think. It's all about mental preparation. Do you know what you're about to play against and what the role is, what the task is at hand? And it's a grind. You got to stay tuned in for the 90 minutes, for every minute. You can't have a letdown, because these players are that gifted, they're that talented, that you cannot sleep. And so when you do win the ball back after they've kept it for so long, it's making sure that you punish them. That next initial ball has to be played into a channel. Stretch them, because Clemson's back line is going to push high. And if there is one weakness on this Clemson team, it's their outside backs. That's where teams have gotten at this Clemson team. Wide areas, use the width.
Speaking of the width, driven in, low ball, blown in there, but skips across the 6-yard box. Barber played it in, looking for Brighton. Mentioned the outside backs. Justin Malouk plays on the right side. Charlie Asensio, the sophomore, on the left side for this Clemson squad. There's Asensio battling with Ian Asheris. Asensio wins that battle.
Now, what you lose in Robbie Robinson is a player who can come into the midfield, turn, combine, shoot from distance with both right foot and left foot, and beat you on the dribble. Now, with James Brighton, it's more of your traditional number 9. A player who's going to sit up there, hold up play, get in the box, not really be involved in the build-up.
Smith battling. And they're going to call a foul on Smith. Patrick Coleman was working hard there. Matthew Kreitzer, the official, says you got a fistful of jersey there, Smith.
Physical. This is an ACC quarterfinal game. Guys are showing up. So Patrick Coleman, Kamari Smith going at it, using their hands, being aggressive.
Ogren on the ball, looking to play it forward. Brighton trying to hold it up. Redshirt freshman missed last year due to injury. Very talented player. Tanner Dietrich working on Coleman. Smith. Drags it past. Defender gets the cross in. It falls almost for another opportunity. Now Muhammad Abdul-Nadi is down. Him and Barber had a little collision at the 6-yard box.
Ball played in across, and Grayson Barber is late and catches Abdul-Nadi.
Abdul-Nadi, the freshman, started every game this season. He played in every game this season. He started 14 of them. Quite solid at the back line there for the Irish. Barber winning the foot race with Farley. I think Farley kind of took him out. No call, though.
Farley used his body well there. The timing had to be right, so he wasn't going to concede a foul. But Clemson, same thing. They're looking to expose those wide areas. But in order to expose those wide areas, they need to draw the Notre Dame wingbacks up. And so when they can get Patrick Coleman and Felicien Dumas to tuck up, that's when they can use the speed of Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber in those wide areas.
Barber skips forward. Falls for Dietrich. Bianca wheels out of some trouble. Knocks it over to Malou. Forward to Dietrich in the channel. He's going to beat it to the end line. He is. Tries to turn, really can't. Abdelnady's got him bottled up and will be out for an Irish throw.
Mike Noonan talked about, I'm going to play Kamari Smith, Grayson Barber, and James Bryant man on man with the three-back line of Notre Dame. Force their wingbacks to either make a decision to either tuck in and come all the way inside, or to push up on the outside backs, which now gives Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber space to get into. So using those wide areas, make those wingbacks make decisions.
What decisions have you seen them make to this point?
Patrick Coleman and Felicien Dumas have stayed home. Have you seen they've come inside with Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber? They're conceding the wide areas. They're saying, come with your fullbacks. We'll allow you to come with your outside backs. Get Charlie Asensio in the attack and get Justin Malou in the attack. And then once they do, we'll look to expose you there.
Dumas, a little bit of space. He's got a lethal left foot, lets it loose. Controlled pretty easily by George Marks, the sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina, makes the save.
Hey, replay, shot on goal.
Felicien Dumas in open space. When you give him that much time and space, he's going to let it fly. He's got a great left foot. Tries to put it up or right, but George Marks does a good job of shuffling his feet and getting behind it.
First shot of the day for Notre Dame. Had a little opportunity in transition. Smith dancing around, finds Dietrich.
Clemson overloading one side, bringing everybody to the right side, looking to combine and drag Notre Dame players out of position.
Malou in a lot of space in the right, looking to cross, low driven ball. Out for another corner.
Cross corner to take it back to Kamari Smith.
Smith plays it short. Over to Mayaka. The best control. Barber. Excuse me. Hernandez. Nice move to skip inside the defender. Now over the keeper, though. In the end.
Just so you know, they're going to second overtime in the week.
Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff here on the ESPN app right now on the ACC network. Wake Forest and Virginia Tech, are going into double OT. Wake was up 2-0 in that game into the 80th minute at home. They surrendered 2 goals in the final 10 minutes to go into OT. The winner will take on Virginia in Charlottesville on Wednesday. Malou back to Malik Mbaye, the senior from Senegal. Former All-ACC freshman team back in 2016. Up to Fernandez. Marnie Smith flicks it forward. Crafty, Brighton trying to get on it. But tracked down just in time by Philip Quinton, the big center back.
Fantastic job from Philip Quinton there. Timing, the anticipation. When you don't have that much space to cover for Philip Quinton, he's fantastic. It's when he's up by half and you have to track a run. That's when he struggles. So playing to his strengths, this is what they're doing right now, dropping deep, allowing him to win those balls.
Malou trying to get in line. Shot blocked. Barber still working. Mayaka tracks it down. The Tigers reset.
This is the game we should be watching. We should be used to watching for the rest of this at least for the first half. A defensive Notre Dame team, well organized, well structured, in their blocks, making it difficult for Clemson to break you down. Not allowing Clemson to play their strengths, which is counterattack. Sit deep and allow their creative players to try and break you down.
Chad Riley did say he did learn quite a bit from that first meeting back in mid-September. They lost 4-2 at home. The Notre Dame coach said we didn't. You kind of thought you know what they were dealing with. They didn't really know yet. They saw it in person, and it allowed the Tigers to get out in transition, allowed their front three to be running at them and be at pace and control that game. So definitely they're sitting deeper in this matchup and trying to, and to your point, keep the game in front of them. Lou looking for Smith. He cuts it back. He gets the shot off. Just wide. He just needs a second. What a quick trigger.
Kamari Smith making runs into the wide channels, fakes the shot to cut back, and then tries to frame it far post. Just couldn't get around it. But you can see the dangerous problems that he asks, that poses to this Notre Dame back line.
Not the best distribution from the birthday boy, sophomore. Looking for an ACC quarterfinal win in his birthday. Fernandez skips away with it. Back to Dietrich. Brighton connects with Barber. He's got Smith in the middle. Tries to play Smith just behind him. McFadden, first time we're calling his name. Junior touches it out of play.
Notre Dame is allowing Grayson Barber and Kamari Smith to go into the midfield and receive the ball to their feet. They're fine with that, and you can see it's working for them thus far. But how much longer can you take Kamari Smith making those dangerous runs that he does off the shoulder of a center back? And then you can see when he can take it first time, he can cut it back to his left foot. You give him 2, 3, 4 chances like that, he's going to finish one of them.
Out for a throw. Smith couldn't handle that. Lou couldn't handle it.
Coach Noonan told me this summer he really worked on his finishing. Right foot, left foot, from inside the box, outside the box. And he's come back this year. It's really shown. He's grown so much with that finished product. And it's not even just the finishing, it's the assists. Being able to put himself in a position to make an impact and open up space for everybody else.
On that note, this is a Clemson team that was 7-9 last year. They brought back, they had 14 new faces last year, and they had some injury issues, but they were 7-9. They were picked 5th in the Atlantic Division in the ACC. What has been so different? What was so different from last year to this year in this squad?
He said all the pieces just clicked this year. It's one of those special seasons where every move you make works. Philip Mayaka coming into the team. When you have a ball-winning midfielder like Philip Mayaka, who can also get into the attack and play those balls, the penetrating balls for Kamari Smith and Robbie Robinson and Grayson Barber to get onto, it adds another element to your team. And that's what has gone so well, is all the pieces were the right pieces in the puzzle. And now you have, as well as their center back, Oscar Agren, who comes in from Sweden. And you have someone who's been in a professional setup, whose father is famous in Swedish football. He was a long-time sporting director for Malmo, where Zlatan Ibrahimovic developed as a youngster.
One of your former clubs, too?
No, it's a former club that I used to score goals against.
Not bad. I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up to talk about yourself. We might see a goal right now, an opportunity to cut back.
I always shined when we played Malmo. Always.
Are they the best team in Sweden traditionally, historically?
They're one of them.
Agren came in, the freshman, as you mentioned. He's been outstanding. Coach Noonan said he plays beyond his years. He's wise, he's mature, and he's really helped lock down the back end of the field. But they're third in ACC in goals against average, just under 0.94 at 0.94 a game. So they score a ton, but they don't get scored on a lot. Low ball played in. Out to Fernandez. Lays it off for Barber. He'll give it a first-time strike and curls around and gets to the arms of Turnbull.
Well, they're keeping teams on their heels because everyone's worried about their pace.
It is relentless, man. It is crazy to watch them. Just the attack in waves nonstop. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff here at historic Riggs Field in Clemson, South Carolina. 0-0. Just about 20 minutes into this ACC men's soccer tournament quarterfinal. The winner will take on Pitt. If Notre Dame wins, they go to Pitt. If Clemson wins, Pitt comes here to South Carolina on Wednesday. Aiden McFadden out wide to Patrick Coleman. Coleman steps into the box with a few forays forward for the Irish. He's a crafty player. Almost able to get out of the trouble there, and then he took a piece of Barber, and that may result in a card here. Anthony Kreitzer, the official, coming over to talk to Coleman, the sophomore.
He's a dangerous winger. He likes to run and run at defenders, and he's quick with his move. He makes up his decision. He makes his mind up quick. It's left to right, and then he goes. He's tough. Those players are really tough to deal with. When you have a winger who's just aggressive and he's willing to run, sometimes as a defender, you'd rather them, keep the ball calm, play side to side. With Patrick Coleman, it's north and south.
Turned over again. Fernandez looking forward for Brighton. No subs made yet in this match. Just over 20 minutes into the game. George Marks come off his line, and he'll get there just before Ian Asheris, the senior, who scored the game-tying goal against BC. He was assisted by Jack Casey, senior to keep them alive. That was in the 62nd minute on Wednesday, and they went on to win through an own goal by Alejandro Zimmerman as Kamani Smith charges forward again. Locked up with Muhammad Omar, and freshman Omar knocks it out.
Let him go, Doug, let him go.
Notre Dame is content with Kamani Smith checking so deep to get on the ball. And they have numbers there for help. So that's what they've done so well, is that initial guy can get beat, but they have people there to bail out, whether it's Abu Nadi, whether it's Muhammad Omar, whether it's Phil Quinton moving over. They've done a good job of shifting and being organized.
Dumas on the ball. Lynn, their leading scorer, got 9 on the season. He's got 5 game-winning goals. That's first in the nation, Lynn does. Notre Dame trying to put some passes together, and that tiny spell of possession ended.
Mike Noonan's well aware of how Notre Dame can hurt you. The most important thing for Clemson is not to foul around the box, because you're giving Felicien Dumas, their prime set-piece taker, at goal, or a fantastic delivery for their players to get on the end of.
Dumas outstanding in this team. Notre Dame has some big bodies as well with his lethal left foot that can cause some trouble in set-piece areas. Every coach that plays Notre Dame tells you the first thing: got to limit set pieces. Can't have that happen. That's easier said than done. Smith looking to run into the channel. Abdelnadi trying to usher it out, and he does.
Well done.
Have our first substitution of the match being made here. Mohamed Sey comes in the match, the freshman from Valencia, Spain. He's got 3 goals, 5 assists on the campaign. Comes in for James Brighton. Mike Noonan did say Brighton, the redshirt freshman, would probably give him about 25 minutes a half. He's still getting to full fitness. You remember he missed all of last year with an injury. So Brighton walks off. Sey steps in, looking to try to make a difference here in this 0-0 game to this point.
Now Mike Noonan's addressing James Brighton, saying, do this a little bit better. Get into this space, and you'll get more opportunities. Mike Noonan's great when at giving messages to players and having them grow. When you talk about this team, the difference from last year to this year, it's just they came in with the game plan in the spring and said we're gonna play like this. This is everyone's responsibility. Went position by position, and then in the summer, for preseason when they came back into school, everybody was ready to go. running on all cylinders, and they've shocked everybody. I mean, they were picked to finish 5th in their division, and they're now the best team in the country.
Yeah, with Washington losing, folks, they lost to Cal this week, so if Clemson can get this win, they will be the #1 ranked team in the country, you would think. Malou once had to be a handball, not there. Mike Noonan has done a great job with this Clemson team over the years. They made the tournament 5 of 6 years. They were in the semifinals, at least of the ACC tournament, 6 of the last 7 years. They can make another foray into that if they win this game. Great tackle by Ogren. They tried to ignite the transition the other way, but picked off, read well by Muhammad Omar.
Muhammad Omar, just understanding the space that's in front of him and where to be positioned. That's where I've seen his growth since we first watched him against UNC. One, not being on the ball in bad spots in the field. The giveaways, playing sideways. Play it with everything in front of you. You're a big presence. Win the ball, be in the right spots, cut down the passing lanes, which you just saw right there, and then play in front. Once you win the ball, play forward. And I think that's where he's made huge strides this season.
Yeah, Omar's been a guy we've talked about throughout the course of the year with Chad Riley. He's made some critical mistakes that have led to goals, but Chad Riley stuck with him. To your point, he's continued to mature and improve and understand the game.
It's a learning process, right? These kids are young. It's not like they get a ton of time training. You come into preseason, a week and a half, then it's game. You don't have training sessions to grow and practice that on the field. All your practice is done in games. And sometimes that's hard to grow and mature because of the demand. The results matter. There's no do-overs.
Yeah, that's it. They all count.
But Mike Noonan recruited me back in the day when he was at Brown.
He made a point of that when you missed the conference call this week. You ignored him when he was at Brown. We'll come back to that in a second. Tanner Dietrich steps into the box, hesitates, looking to get the cutback deflected. Sei tried to get his head on it. Fernandez lines it up. It's deflected, and it stays out. From this angle, it looked like Fairley got a piece of it that it could carry past Turnbull, but it almost stopped dead.
It pops out for Felipe Hernandez in a great spot, but Senator Farley there to deflect it. Very fortunate that Notre Dame have pieces in the box to prevent that shot from being on goal, because Duncan Turnbull was already gone. He was done. He was out of the play. He was on the ground. That would have been a goal.
Looking for the switch to Coleman. Goes out. Seven shots to 1 right now. Clemson's controlled this match to this point. What we expected, though. I mean, last few minutes, so Notre Dame's been able to get at least on the Clemson side of the field here for a few minutes. And say, big physical center forward controls the ball.
And Notre Dame have 6 defenders to Clemson's 3 attackers. They position themselves well. Just in case things break down, they have cover.
Dumas now low ball driven. Opportunity here for McFadden. Big save by Marks. McFadden tries to get on his right foot and blocked out for a corner kick. Wow, Dumas, what a laser. Big save by Marks.
Ian Asheris battling on the dribble, penetrating, pushing that Clemson backline back, and then all of a sudden Felician Dumas just unleashes first touch. Great save by George Marks to push it out wide.
Felician Dumas trying to do his best Fabinho. For those of you that watched Man City and Liverpool today, the Brazilian.
What a strike.
Early in the game gets the Reds on the board, and they took care of business 3-1, beating City. As now Notre Dame makes their first substitution. John Ray coming on, the senior for Ian Asheris.
John Ray offers a little bit more speed. He gets in behind, he makes those runs into space.
First corner of the day for Notre Dame, played short, kind of left short for Dumas too, which is not what you want to see there. Bad turnover.
you see Kamari Smith was lined up with Philip Quinton. That's where you want to get him the ball. When he's faced up with Philip Quinton that far away from goal.
Barber's head up, looking for a save, and what a save by Turnbull! The freshman almost had his 4th goal of the campaign, but the big 6'7" Turnbull equal to the task.
Grayson Barber, head up, sees Saeed in there. He gets a great purchase on the ball, but Duncan Turnbull, all 6'7", able to get his hand up there. Great reaction save to tip it over the bar.
Smith to play it in, low driven cross. Dumas gets it out of dodge. Mack will take the throw quickly.
Mike Noonan raved about Mohamed Saeed's athleticism and how big he is and his wingspan.
Wingspan, I think we're talking about hoops.
He can hold off 2 center backs. It's strong, the wingspan. Said sometimes it looks like the ball's getting away from him, and next thing you know, he's slipping through a ball.
Speaking of slipping through, Jack Lynn almost slipped through to John Ray there, making the run forward. See, trying to touch it along to Smith. Abelnati slow to get up, hopping on one leg. Now he's back to the jog. Couple subs coming in now. Jack Casey, who's mentioned, the senior for Notre Dame, gets in the mix. There was some injury issues all year, so coming off the midweek game, didn't get the start, but he's in now. And on the other side, Adrian Nunez subs on for Kamari Smith. Say looking for Dietrich, poor pass though. Crowd doesn't like it, but Aiden McFadden is down in a heap.
Hand to the face. He's bleeding a little bit. Now he's got to come off to clean it up.
Oscar Agren being talked to by Matthew Kreitzer, the official.
Patrick Coleman plays the entrance ball to the feet of McFadden. Oscar Ogren there gets his hands in Aiden McFadden's face, causes him to bleed. Now he's going to come off.
Because he was fouled, John Ray can step on here for him. He just did. Tyler Shea, excuse me, the sophomore 28 came in for McFadden as he gets some medical attention. Quinton. A little bit of pressure here. Turned over. Nunez, the Costa Rican to the left, senior, transfer from North Florida. He was a 2-time All-Atlantic Sun there before he came to the ACC. Stepped up in the quality of competition here from the Atlantic Sun. Very talented player. Back on the ball again. Nice first touch to turn freedom.
Fantastic ball into his feet from Ogren there.
Malou, the space, back to Nunez. Little 1-2, Nunez is still on it, tries to skip past the final defender, but he could not do it. Mbai comes up and creates the turnover, Say on it. Barber, Mayaka to his right, Barber gives it a go, and it's out for another corner.
They just continue to attack. There's run after run after run. This Clemson team is just ruthless in the attack. They're just throw numbers, they're relentless, and it's tough to deal with. Notre Dame have all 11 people within 30 yards of their own goal. They are defending, all hands on deck.
7th corner of the match here for the Tigers. Outswinger, looking for Mbai. He gets his head on it, but in the end, not dangerous. Just a quick update from Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. They are in penalties right now. Tech was down in that game 2 goals with less than 10 minutes to go, and they came back and have forced pens right now. Omar called a foul on Fernandez.
Not totally Irish.
And Clemson, get it down and play.
Heavy touch by Barber. Couldn't control it. This Clemson team has won 5 straight games. That 6th game was a 0-0 draw with Virginia Tech. A rarity this year for Clemson. The only time this year they were shut out. That's the scoreline we're at right now. The only loss of the year came to Wake Forest at Wake Forest, 3-2 in overtime.
Right there, when Notre Dame.
Ball played in, Say's there on the spot. Poor header there from the freshman. It seemed like he had a lot of space and some time.
Malou plays it in around over the initial defender, but Say lost track of the ball. Phil Quinton, 6'7". It's tough to see over him. 6'5", but you have to stay focused on that ball. You cannot think about the goal. He had the whole goal in front of him. Was probably seeing where Duncan Turnbull was. Just lost track of it.
On ball looking for Coleman though. Skips to Marks.
But when Notre Dame win that ball back in the midfield, when you finally get possession, you cannot give it away.
Is that just demoralizing? You turn it over, does it suck a little bit out of your life there?
It does. But it's so early in the game that you say, okay, we're still 0-0, we're fine. But if you're down a goal and all of a sudden you finally win that ball back after defending, and give it away, it is demoralizing.
Barber looking forward for Dietrich. Abulnadi able to cut it out, get it forward to Dumas. And offside, just barely, was John Ray. We were right there at the line, and you could see he was just about a half yard off.
John Ray just has to have a little bit more patience in that scenario. You know you want to get behind. Just stay on, because if you wait 1 more second and then make that run into space, you're onside and you're alone. Because of the way Clemson defend, you just have to time it. Make a bending run towards your own half, and then you release once that ball's played.
Ogren looking long for Say. Down nicely off his chest. Nunez steps into it. Fernandez. Dietrich trying to line up a shot. Deflected. Jacqueline on it. Dumas looking to relieve pressure, plays it up to Ray. And Ray can't control, goes out to touch.
And Notre Dame finally win possession there, play into the channels. That's when you need the hold-up play from the striker. If he can hold it there, keep possession, and then link up the play when you have Jacqueline coming underneath it, and as well as Tyler Shea, then you can get something going. That's when you can start combining and get a shot off.
Looking forward, trying to find Nunez, but just too much on it.
Dribble. Let it out. And boot it.
Asensio in some trouble. Looked like Coleman took a piece of him afterwards, but no call. Poor turnover. 2v2. Barber Say to his left. Plays Say, the freshman, looking back for Barber. Just played out.
Fantastic defending from Philip Quinton there. He did not dive in. Here it is. Philip Quinton stands up on his feet, does not dive in, forces Saeed to try and play that ball across for Grayson Barber. Stand him up. Don't dive in. Perfect defending from Philip Quinton. That's textbook.
And Abdelnadi there to clean it up too, taking care of business. Another sub here for Notre Dame. Spencer Farina in, Patrick Coleman out. Tanner Dietrich called for the push. Oh. Ball came flying up toward the broadcast booth. Almost lit up one of the fans here.
Oh, it did.
Solid crowd on hand here tonight in Clemson. About 58 degrees, a little chill in the air, but a good crowd here to support the #2 team in the nation. If they can get the result here, they will be the #1 team in the nation.
This is where Notre Dame are looking to hurt you. Felicien Dumas is going to try and play this right at the top of the box. George Marks is off his line, anticipating that ball just in case if it's hit a little too far, he's going to come out for it.
Dumas whips it in. Dangerous, but just over the head of Shea. There called on Notre Dame.
And ball called on the Irish.
Virginia Tech needed one penalty to win the game. Big save by Andrew Pannenberg, and then they flipped the script. The Demon Deacons did. They win in penalties. They move forward. They will play Virginia in Charlottesville on Wednesday. Tons of drama today in the ACC men's soccer tournament.
Gotta love it.
Welcome to Clemson, South Carolina. Congratulations to Wake Forest and winning in that dramatic fashion over Virginia Tech alongside Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff. We are here as the Tigers and the Irish are battling for the final spot in the quarterfinals. The other 3 spots have been taken throughout the course of what was an outstanding day of ACC soccer on the ACC network. And the #2 team in the nation has been controlling this game, moving forward yet again, looking for an opportunity. Shot just wide. Asking for a deflection here. None given by the referee, Matthew Kreitzer. Alvaro Gomez making his first foray forward into this match. Clemson comes in as the #2 team in the nation, as we mentioned, the most prolific scoring team in the nation. They lead the country in 7 categories, including goals per game, goals overall, total assists. And they are top 20 in 5 other categories. They are an outstanding group, but we are at 0-0. Charlie, what have you seen to this point here in this Irish team being able to hold down, batten down the hatches, if you will, at times?
Just resilient defending, organized, preventing Clemson for playing to their strengths, which is counterattack, exposing the space behind the back line with the speed of Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber. They've done a fantastic job.
Grayson Barber, nice dummy. Philip Mayaka, the freshman, onto it almost. Oscar Agren, freshman from Sweden, turns upfield, finds Gomez.
Philip Quinton has been Notre Dame's best player this half, just putting out countless attacks, being there to be that last man, great defending, not diving in, anticipating those balls.
Looking for Tanner Dietrich.
And winning his tackles.
And Ben Giacobello couldn't control it, turns it over quickly. Mayaka takes space in front. A lot of congestion there, a lot of Navy jerseys in there. Barber on the ball. One of this deadly attacking three that started, but Mohamed Say, the freshman's in there now as well. Marnie Smith on the bench, starting this game. One thing we did not mention yet is Robbie Robinson, the #1 player in the country in terms of points per game, third leading scorer in the country with 15 goals. Out this match, did not start due to injury. Will is not available due to injury in warm-up clothes on the bench. Mike Noonan saying that not necessarily a serious injury, but he's not playing tonight. We'll see if he can make an appearance in this ACC tournament if they move forward into the semifinals against Pitt, who won earlier today at home. Mayaka looking to line it up, deflected.
But it's probably best to rest him until the NCAA tournament, until he's 100% healthy. You don't want to risk losing him for that tournament, especially when this team has what it takes to win a national championship.
They have what it takes, but they won an ACC regular season title. You want to win an ACC title too, right? I mean, it's got to be hard to forsake one for the other. I know the national championship is the ultimate, but ACC title is still pretty.
If you had to choose between the two,
yeah,
you're giving up that ACC
1 minute to go in first half of
championship
play.
without a doubt.
Well, we shouldn't say giving up with championship because this team is still capable. Oh, it skips through an opportunity here for Ray. What a save by George Marks off his line. John Ray, the senior, almost changed our entire conversation there.
Boy, did he. And that's why they brought him in, because he makes great runs. He's got the pace. He's more of an attacking threat than Ian Shares.
Nunez into a lot of space here. Goes off Philip Quinton. We're down to 24 seconds. See if they can get a corner in.
Ian Shares takes, John Ray takes a great touch into space.
Quickly played in.
10, 9,
Ray plays it long, and we're going to go to break
7,
here
6,
at 0-0. Similar to the game we had Wednesday, North Carolina State
1.
and Duke. It was a fun game. We saw more goals in that one in the first half. We've seen a lot of attempts here. We've seen some great goalkeeping, some great saves to keep this thing even through the first 45. What's your biggest takeaway through the first 45 minutes?
Notre Dame is executing their game plan to a T. Sit back, defend, get numbers behind the ball, but when we do counter, when we do attack, do it in a smart way. Commit 2-3 guys at a time and try and get the best opportunity. They've had 2 good chances so far, but Clemson have to do a better job of combining because this back line is tough to break down. You have to combine and figure out different ways to get at this Notre Dame back line.
Notre Dame's a team that's coming in, win 3 straight games, one of those on the road at Wake Forest. They're on the road here against the #2 team in the nation. Now we're joined by Chad Riley, the coach of the Irish. Coach, we talked about it earlier in the week. This Clemson team is prolific offensively. You guys have done a good job defending. How do you continue that in the second 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think you have to be organized. You have to be concentrated. You know, you're going to deal with some crosses, and you have to be confident in dealing with them. But I do think we can do a better job of getting pressure higher up the field, so maybe we have those moments around our box where defending a little less. Chad,
you've limited Kamari Smith and his impact in this game, yet you've also had some great opportunities going forward. What do you have to focus on in the second half to come away with the result?
Yeah, I think, in the transition into the attack, we've got to kind of attack the weak side of the field. When we take 2 touches, 3 touches, and simply move it, we get good attacks out of it, so we have to do that a little bit more. And then I do think it's just whenever we get out to pressure, we've got to get their head down and not just get close to them.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, 0-0 at the break here from Clemson. It's been a great day of ACC soccer so far. We'll relive it on the men's side, and we've got a women's champion as well. We'll tell you about that after the break here in Clemson. Top seed in the ACC tournament. Tigers are tied at 0s with Notre Dame. We're now joined by the Tiger coach, Mike Noonan. Coach, appreciate your time. We always talk about your offense, but defensively you guys have been solid all year. What do you have to do to maintain this scoreline from the Notre Dame perspective? Because they have had some chances here to break the deadlock.
Yeah, we've got to make sure that in defensive transition we stop the guy who their outlet pass. That's the most important thing, and that we don't get complacent in the back when we have the ball because we had so much of the ball.
Mike, what'd you tell your team in at halftime when they're dropping so many numbers behind the ball and making it difficult for you guys to play on the counter and expose that space in behind? How do you get on the score sheet?
Well, we've got to be a little more patient. You've got to have, it's called patient urgency, right? So when the ball turns over, we've got to be able to find our front guys a little bit quicker so they can't sit back in, and we also got to get along the sides of them. So we talked a little bit about some more diagonals out of midfield to get them into the space behind their wingbacks and alongside of their back three.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Patient urgency. Well, oxymoron. I like that. See if they can imply that or apply that here.
That would come from a former Brown University coach, you know?
Sounds lofty, to say the least. Former Brown coach, Providence. He's got over 300 wins at 4 different stops. Excuse me, not Providence, UNH, New Hampshire. Mike Noonan over 300 wins overall. His coaching career over 100 here at Clemson. Looking to get back into the ACC final, which they did in 2016. They made the NCAA final back in 2015, losing to Stanford. He's built quite a program here at Clemson, but right here and now, they need to find a way to beat the Irish and move forward. See if they can do that. We are underway. Matthew Kreitzer, our official, blows the whistle. And the second 45 starts in the final match of the ACC men's soccer tournament quarterfinal. This is the 4th game here on ACC Network today. An outstanding day of soccer. Started with Liverpool City. We had the women's final, North Carolina winning. 4 quarterfinals, MLS Cup. A great day of soccer here.
You couldn't ask for more on a Sunday.
No, it's a great day. People call it a football. It was a football Sunday. It was the real football Sunday. Smith tries to touch it forward. Crab wanted a call, no call.
You heard Coach Noonan mention we need to play those diagonals in space. There was opportunities to get Kamari Smith faced up with Philip Quinton on the wide areas. That's where you hurt. When you bring up Philip Quinton to those wide areas and isolate him 1v1, he doesn't have the pace to keep up with you that far away from goal. So that's going to be something we should look for. Clemson trying to use those wide areas and draw defenders out of position.
Tanner Dietrich, 3-year captain, plays it back to the freshman, Oscar Ogren. Smith tries to touch it past Shannon Farley. Farley stands him up. John Ray getting the start in the second half. He had a great opportunity, but a great save by George Marks. Almost got the Irish up 1-0 at the very end of the first half. Grayson Barber battling Muhammad Omar, wins that battle. Philip Mayaka, fantastic freshman on the ball. Pings it wide to Barber. He charges forward. Fernandez to his right. Dinks it over to Fernandez. Low ball, cut out. Barber might get a shot off. He does off the bar! Almost fell to Barber's feet to break the deadlock. What a shot.
Grayson Barber sees an inch of space and just lets it rip. Coming off the underside of the crossbar over Duncan Turnbull, had him beat for pace. Fantastic shot. He's just looking like, why can't I score tonight?
Would have been his 10th goal of the campaign. We always talk about Kamarni Smith and, of course, Robbie Robinson. Now, that's another story, though, too. Barber's been great on that triumvirate of players up front. Jacqueline tries to turn forward. Tanner Dietrich spinning away from trouble. Story of this game has been Robbie Robinson held out due to injuries, #1 in the nation in terms of points scored this year. 3rd overall with goals with 15. He's out with an injury. They're not sure how serious it will be. He may come back in the ACC tournament, but he picked up the injury in training and is not playing in this match as Barber picks up a foul.
He's a front runner for the Herman Trophy. I mean,
which is the National Player of the Year.
National Player of the Year. This player has it all. When you talk about pace, he can dribble you, beat you 1v1. He can shoot with his left foot, his right foot from distance. He can get in the box. He can combine. He can also play people in dangerous spots. First touch, fantastic. Aware. He has all the tools in the box. Mike Noonan talked about really focusing on maturing, his growth as a professional, as a young student athlete. He's made so many strides coming into this year, and that's been the difference.
Barber plays it over to Fernandez, low ball. Barber closes him down, forces the turnover. Malou forward from his right back spot. continues his run, but held off by Abul Nadi. Nicely done by Felicien Dumas. On Robinson, too, when you talk every coach in the league and around the country, he has the unpredictability, that unique spark that he can just bring and just take players on 1, 2, 3, 4 and create something out of nothing that you cannot prepare for. That's something that when a team sits deep like this, I assume you're missing that in your line.
He can unlock defenses and pull it 1, 2, 3 defenders out of position because he's so good on the dribble. The first game they played earlier this year, he dribbled 4 Notre Dame players and then scored. Once Clemson scored in this game, if they do, it forces Notre Dame to come out and have to play and be on the front foot. And when you do that, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to the speed and pace that Clemson have.
Right now it's still 0-0, so Notre Dame can lay back and try to counter. They've got an opportunity. Aiden McFadden looking back post. Back-headed across. Sent out by Mbai. Spencer Farina made a late substitution, and he stays in the game, number 3. Saving the game to start the second half.
When we spoke to Chad Riley, we talked about, did you see the Pittsburgh game? Were you studying that film? 0-0 match, the only game Clemson did not score this season.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. You think he didn't watch that closely?
Farina with a long throw. Good use of his body by Mayaka to hold off Dumas. And Virginia Tech's the only team to keep Clemson scoreless all year. They were 0-0 earlier in October. 5 straight wins, though, for the Tigers. That was the 6th game. And the game before that was actually Wake Forest. 3-2, the only loss of the year in the overtime L to Wake on the road. Justin Malou, nice ball play to James Brighton. Brighton couldn't hold it up.
Again, good step from Philip Quinton, not giving Brighton time and space. That if he does have a bad touch, he's there to collect it and then keep possession for Notre Dame. With Robbie Robinson, he can draw Philip Quinton into midfield because he'll check deep. And then when you draw that space, that's where Kamarni Smith and Grayson Barber can make those diagonal runs into that channel.
Abul Nadi, good use of his body to hold off Barber.
A striker that just posts up and is used for hold-up play plays into Philip Quinton's strong hands.
Felicien Dumas, grad student with the throw in here. Born in Paris, spent a lot of his life in Tokyo, had offers to play in Singapore professionally. His father and mother very stressed education, told him, let's not do that. Let's go play in college in the U.S., check that out. Came over to a camp. Notre Dame assistant saw him, and years later, here he is.
Back on the Irish.
And now here's an opportunity, though, for the Tigers in a dangerous spot as Mayaka tries to walk it forward, and him and Dumas exchanging some words.
Mohamed Armar is convinced he dived here. Now, did he dive? Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It's a full-on dive. He dove, and Mohamed Armar called him up on it. Can't believe they called a foul. The ref got that wrong.
And now this is going to be a great opportunity as Barber, the sophomore from Elgin, South Carolina, sporting KC Academy product, though. Spent a couple years there, a couple years U.S. residency. Under 17 squad. Takes the dive, gets the free kick, and now Mayaka looking to play it in a dangerous spot. Got 2 in the wall. Now Tanner Dietrich joins the wall. Played short to Fernandez. Back to Mayaka. Dietrich tries a reverse pass to Mayaka. Mayaka's still on it. Shot! It's in the back of the net! Questionably free kick. No question about the finish from the freshman. His second goal of the season.